Welcome to the Hardscape Huddle, broadcasting live from the Staffa Stone Open House. It is early October. The weather couldn't be better, and it's definitely brought out a good turnout for contractors.
No, for sure.
So today I have Tom from Ardex. So Tom, tell me who Ardex actually is.
Well, Ardex is it's a global cement company. We manufacture high quality engineered cements. Our home base is in Witten, Germany, but locally here, if you want to call it local, is Aliquippa, PA is our American headquarters.
And it seems like it takes forever to get anything from Aliquippa, PA.
Yeah, well, it's 6 hours door to door, by truck. We do have the manufacturing facility out there, our corporate headquarters, and the academy itself.
So everything is made here in the U.S.?
Correct. Yep.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So today over at your booth, I saw a couple interesting products, and we've talked earlier on other podcasts about how outdoor tile is becoming more and more popular. Okay, and I see it looks like you have for a lack of a better term, a terrazzo bedding system.
Yeah, for sure. So what typically happens, and COVID did us a bit of a disservice, obviously, the whole shutdown and everything, but with the tile guys now going outside, your masons now going inside, there was a lot of crossover, and we found that it actually really kind of we had to hone ourselves in to supplying both ends of that business. So the drainage mortar we have is a 4-to-1 ratio using an A11. It's a cement binder.
Wow.
And it kind of holds everything together. We can set that up on top of a drainage system, and then the water will shed right through it, eliminating any picture framing, efflorescence, all the nasty callbacks we're going to get up here in the Northeast.
Right. You actually have a product that eliminates all efflorescence. Is that not true?
Well, efflorescence is inherent in Portland cements, but we do have, with our engineered technology, we do have binders that limit the amount of hydration in a lot of these products, whether it be a rapid set, which burns off the moisture, or a self-drying product like X32, which actually can dry underwater.
Dries underwater.
Not sure why we need that, but it definitely works. It's
Fixing
all about
pools.
Non-shrinkage, self-drying mortar that doesn't allow hydration to get through and stain stone. That's where we typically use it.
Oh, that's awesome. Who knew cement was so scientific?
This is year 27 in tile and stone for me. And when I started with Ardex about 9 years ago, I had no idea cement was this technologically advanced.
So maybe we need to get you in and speak to the audience of the Hardscape Huddle. We get you into the studio and we'll talk more about this.
That'd be awesome, yeah.
But for now, we're going to walk over to your booth, and you got a couple demos you're going to do for us.
Yeah, we're going to do some exterior veneer.
Okay.
And we're going to put together our drainage mortar just to show how capillary passive systems work.
Oh, that's awesome. All right, let's go over.
Cool, thanks.
Thank you. Hey, Tom, we finally pushed through the crowd and made it back to your booth. And it looks like you got some X77 mixed up here.
Yeah, for sure. So X77 is our premium veneer stone mortar. It provides long open time, long working time, and a great pot life. Plus, it's got microfiber infused. We mentioned a little bit before about some of the technology we have. It's just an absolute amazing product to work with, especially for your exterior veneers.
Okay. And I see we have a gray mixed up. Does it come two different colors in case you're doing tile sets or what have you?
Yeah, so X77 gray is ideal for exterior use. A lot of the masons are very familiar with the gray product. Sometimes you have to go to white though, especially for maybe swimming pool installations, or if you're doing maybe a glass tile interior. Plus white just kind of gives it a better, cleaner look.
Yep.
And some people just like to have that.
Providing you're clean with it.
Yeah, that too.
Gotcha. So talk to me, how are we going to install it? So let's see. I see we've got the Pangea stone, it looks like, and we got some outdoor tile.
Yeah, so we installed this one earlier today. We used what we call a tiger trowel or a Euro notch trowel. Gives it a little bit better ability to collapse the ridges and achieve a full bond. I did kind of skim coat this wall here, and that's the first step. We always want to make sure that we have a nice flat surface to work on, especially if you're going over CMU block. All the mortar joints kind of get a little
wire
wonky.
lath on CMUs?
You could if there's potential for form release and stuff like that, but honestly, you could do a direct bond to CMU or poured concrete, providing there's no potential bond breakers like a form release or a paint or an oil.
Okay.
So if that's the case, then wire lath, and then we could go with a product called AM100 as a rapid brown coat, and then we could stick right to it.
A little less expensive, I assume.
There you go.
Yep. Okay. So let's see what you do here.
Yeah, let's hope this works, huh? So I mixed up the X77. The first batch was earlier this morning around 9 a.m. I just junked that. It's got to be a couple hours from now.
Yeah.
So I mixed up another batch, and let's see what 77 actually looks like. So it's a thin stone, thin set mortar. and I'm very confident I could do this all day long.
Very sticky.
Oh yeah, we could even try it on you, Kyle. Look at this, super sticky. So it's got fiber reinforcement. If you actually look at it, you can see it's kind of the fuzzy thin set.
Yeah, absolutely.
Fiber stick out
Almost
of it.
as if you poured concrete.
Exactly. And that gives it a high early strength and provides some of the ability for the Microtech technology, such as the long open times of workability and the better
Right.
drying.
We're getting back
to
into the
kinda take place.
scientific part of the concrete.
Oh yeah. Super scientific.
So why are we doing it flat first?
So we want to make sure that we have good adhesion from the wet mortar into the dry material, whether
Okay.
it be a cement board, a CMU, a wire lath, or a brown coat. If we were just to take a stone, apply the mortar and lick and stick, there's a possibility that it'll hold. But for longevity, we want to make sure we have a nice thin bond. Take a look at it this way. If we were to take a stone and pack it out with a lot of mortar, you're overextending the mortar.
Right, and it's going to slide down your wall.
It's going to slide. You're asking it to do way too much. But I could hold this here all day long within reason. So we want a nice tight bond. So this little thin skim coat here, we're then going to notch it. But
And what'd you say that was, a 3/8?
this is, it breaks down to a little bit larger than a 3/8. It's in between 3/8 and a half. Ergonomically, we were all taught as kids in the tile trade, you know, this is year 27 for me, to go
That makes you
horizontal.
old.
I am. So when you put the stone in place, typically gravity wants to pull down. So imagine if you take a 2x4, put it on a flat, walk across it, it's going to bow out in
That's
the middle.
right.
If you turn it on its end, like a balance beam, I now have a balance beam I'm setting on. So we're going to do a vertical notch. We're going to take our stone. It's got a little bit of weight to it. Just scratch coat the back, very thin. We're going to place it on the wall. We're going to go one way, go the other. We're going to hold it 1, 2, 3 seconds, providing that's relatively straight.
So every stone we
installed.
put on the wall, we have to clean the top of it like that, huh?
No, that's just to show you that it's not moving.
All right, perfect.
So we do want to
So
be
we have
clean,
a
though.
gauge. So we're going to test you.
Oh, for
A couple
sure.
of minutes, we'll come back to this.
Yeah, no doubt. That's actually be a good
So with
demo.
this type of cement, we have to use a specific stone. Like Staffa Stone has, I think, about 4 or 5 different stone vendors here today. Can we use any particular stone we want?
Yeah, this is a 11815 polymer modified mortar. It fits into all the CMHA new standards now, so we will stick to any stone out there, providing it's not resin back,
Man-made,
man-made or natural.
Okay.
Doesn't matter. So,
marble. We're good.
oh yeah, yeah. The only issue you'll have with the marble is there's a ton of water in this bag. So this 40-pound bag is going to take about 8.5 quarts of water to mix.
And everything should be scientifically measured, so to speak.
For as you get into the product and start to use it for the first few times, yes.
Okay.
We always want to measure out our water because it is a little bit different workability than standard products. After a while, guys, they'll shoot it by eye. They get it.
Yeah.
After mixing 1,000 bags in my career, I
Understood.
know what I'm doing. But it would definitely stick to all that, and it has the freeze thaw resistance. It's got, again, the long working time, the open time, everything you need to bond a stone.
Well, it looks fairly easy.
It is.
And how long will that last in the bucket?
So we have a 3-hour pot life per bag. So
Okay.
when you add the water and the powder together, that creates your pot. So in 3 hours from now, it'll pretty much be done. But
In direct sunlight, and we're under a tent. We're
yeah,
fortunate, but-
fortunately, it's too nice out today. We're getting the true working time and open time on this. So about an hour and a half ago, I touched the mortar. It was 55 minutes in, and I was still collecting transfer on it.
Okay.
And that's ultimately what we look for.
Okay.
So we could put another one up real quick just to show you. This one's got a little bit more weight to it.
Yeah,
Right?
a little bit bigger.
It's-
I think veneer typically comes in 14 pounds a square foot,
Yeah,
something like
and
that.
that's fitting into the CMHA standards from a year ago. So I'm going to spread this out a little bit more. It's a very creamy material.
So
and
first you
imagine-
went flat, and then you
we
went,
always do that flat.
okay.
And imagine you're in a bit of a production line where you have one guy just troweling, another guy behind you is putting your stone in, another guy just tuning it up and cleaning it up. I mean, you can set a ton of footage in one day. So
Doesn't
again,
look like your previous stone has settled at all.
oh, and I
no
highly
slump
doubt it
there.
will. So we're going to hold this one. We moved it around. We're going to go 1, 2, 3. But let's say we didn't like this one, right? I could actually take this one here move him around.
Interesting. Okay.
And that's
So
ideal for mosaic patterns and things like that.
Gotcha. All right. Perfect. You
Thank
have
you.
another product here as well.
Yeah, we're gonna just break for a second. I'm gonna mix up some of the aggregate
Okay.
and the binder, and then we're gonna talk about our Pro Drain capillary passive system.
Perfect. We'll come back to you in a few minutes.
Looking forward.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Well, we've made it back over to the Ardex booth here, and Tom is ready to show us this cool contraption he's got set up over here.
That it is.
This
yeah.
is your terraz bed.
Yeah, so we refer to it as our Pro Drain system. The system is made up of a couple different components. We'll walk through them briefly. So this is our UD 146 foam perimeter. This is ideal just to keep our expansion gap in place. You never want to pin two substrates or a material and a substrate together.
So we're going to pretend this is our house over here, this
Yep.
this 1x3.
Correct. Yeah,
Okay.
we're just abutting up to the foundation or whatever we're butting up to.
Or
We're
an
gonna-
interior shower drain?
Not
so much.
Not so much.
Exterior use.
Yeah, I mean, you could use it exterior. We do use it for our interior heating systems and things like that.
Okay.
But it's just a built-in buffer,
Gotcha.
just to make sure we don't get any mortar underneath the system as well. So we have our Pro Drain roll. This is a 108 square foot roll. I've cut this down, and you see there's a self-stick tab on the outside there.
Right
That's
here.
where it'll kind of butt up next to the adjoining roll or segment, and then from there they're kind of overlapped like a roof.
Okay.
So we've already cut this section off. We place this in against our UD 146 and rock and roll. It's installed. This is a loose laid system that provides uncoupling, vapor management, and water management for exterior systems. So,
Okay.
and we have a similar product here called Vatek. This is almost like how a Chinese food box unfolds. We have a sheet that unfolds in the same manner. They get seam tape all together. This is designed for more lower profile systems over roof balconies and decking, things like that.
Interesting.
And that's a direct thin set application. You can see the water
And
shedding
you can see
through.
the water coming off the tile, hitting your mortar,
Oh yeah,
coming through your
through our
membrane.
mat, and it drops through
and
our
then it's
gutter
dropping
system.
down through.
Yep, and it goes where the water goes. So
Rooftop decks, rooftop pools.
ideal.
Okay.
Yeah. So the Pro Drain system could be used in that same capacity. We have buildup plates that could go varying degrees of thickness, and they just snap right up on top of this. So if we had a 4-inch rip that we had to cover, we could easily cover it with that buildup
All right.
plate.
Well, let's get
But
back to this
we'll get back
system
to this
here.
one now. So-
We are experiencing a lot of wet laid tile, wet laid bluestone.
Yeah.
So,
So-
this will help with that.
So we've taken our A14 binder and we've blended it together with some of the aggregate that we had out in the yard. Now, some of the aggregate was a little bit wet, so I dry blended it first just to ensure that we got some of that moisture kind of wrapped into that binder.
Okay.
We don't want to overwater it. Then there's various water ratios we can add to the product. But for a full bag, it takes on the A11 somewhere around 7 to 7.5 quarts per 50-pound bag.
Wow. So you got to add a lot of water to it. It's a very dry
Yeah,
mix.
actually, it's typically a drier mix. This had a lot of water in it from the residual. But we're going to screed this out. We're going to get this down into about a 2-inch minimum.
No more than minimum.
Oh, we could go much deeper. We did
Okay.
a few jobs locally that went 5 inches deep at one point because the concrete was cut into an envelope and it had center
Yes,
drains.
yes.
So fortunately, the UD 146 has this line right, the second line in there, which is approximately 2 inches.
Okay.
So we're not aiming for accuracy today, but you could see it floats out fairly easy.
Now, can you do this in a larger area and 10 foot wide and set up your screed pipes as if you were doing?
You could, but this is designed to be a wet installation. So if you were to float and cover, meaning do your screed today, come back tomorrow, it's gonna be very difficult to get these subangular rocks to lay flat.
Okay.
You're always gonna have them peeking out a little bit.
So screed what you can lay right now.
Yeah, I could do a 2-foot area. So I would take this whole run all the way down in 2 feet and then come back, do the next adjoining course.
Gotcha.
Okay.
But you'd be kneeling on what you just laid. That's okay?
No, so actually you would start at the back and work your way forward.
Okay.
Yeah, we don't want to get on top of this right away, but with A11, you're probably 6-7 hours before you could get on it, meaning tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
If you need a rapid set version, we do have A14, which is 2-hour dry time.
Okay.
So we screeded everything out. We're approximately where we want to be. So we're going to put down our porcelain paver using a different mortar than we used on the wall. We used X77 over there. We have a product called X90. X90 is our outdoor mortar. It's freeze-thaw resistant, will actually dry in 2 hours at 40 degrees.
Wow.
So this will extend your working time well into the winter.
Okay.
Okay. Very simple application. We're going to take our bucket here, and I'm just going to back butter the stone. Many people get it confused with back troweling, but all we want to do is apply the mortar. Again, we're going to flat trowel first.
Just like we did the veneer stone earlier.
Exactly, yeah. Same concept. We want it to be nice and wet. X90 is a semi-pourable material, so it will trowel out extremely easy. Once we have that, we're then going to apply a notch using our tiger trowel again, or our Euro notch trowel. We always want to trowel in a unidirectional pattern. We don't want to have the swirl method, because this creates voids where water can be trapped. So we're going to simply trowel.
So that allows water to run through.
Well, it allows
in one direction.
It promotes easy collapsible ridges. In a swirl like this, you have the pockets where the air gets trapped. Here, this would be nice and flat. So we'll pick up our paver. We're going to put it into place. And typically, we'd be following a string line at this point. So at this point, we would just beat it into place, get the bed set where we need it to be, and we would take our hammer and mallet, beat it into place, or we would take a vibrating tool. A lot of manufacturers have them now where you would actually put the vibrating tool up on top, or even an oscillating sander with a microfiber, and it actually re-wets the mortar from below.
Okay.
So you get that full connectivity.
And here we're not too worried about staining or anything like that, because we know it's a porcelain tile and it's stain resistant.
Correct, yeah. So this is a bit of an overkill application for a porcelain, but if you're doing a sandstone, a limestone, or bluestone, we know they're very moisture sensitive and they don't like water. So this will eliminate any picture framing, mustaching, efflorescence, callbacks, literally anything. So as the water percolates through the grout joints, much like the Vatex system, water will go underneath, hit your drainage plane, and go where the water goes.
Coverage per bag?
Coverage per bag depends on the depth. You're probably around 16 square feet at 2 inch.
Okay.
And that's going to be with the A11, a 4-to-1 ratio.
So this isn't a one-man project.
No, typically, if I was just doing this today, yeah, it's a one-man job.
Right, but you want a crew.
You want
one
a couple of guys
mixer.
mixing, and it requires a forced action mixer. There's no hoe and a shovel mixing this. Today I used a little auger on my little drill. That works for small applications, but a forced action mixer or a barrel mixer would be ideal for that.
Okay.
That way you could spit out wheelbarrows at a time.
Right. A little bit bigger than a 2x2 area.
No doubt. Yes, for sure.
Well, Tom, it was very informative. You learn
Thank you.
something new every day.
Yeah, and what I wanted to show you guys lastly, I poured this this little pad up front probably 2 hours ago.
Okay.
I could easily stand on it, no issue. It's not compressing, and the whole system is permeable. You'll see the water spit out the bottom, just like that.
So everything's working in unison.
It works.
Perfect. Well, Tom, now that the parking lot's wet and we're getting our wires wet, it's time to go.
Thanks again.
Thank you very much.
Of course.
Take care.
Thank you.